There comes a moment in every life where silence turns to sorrow, where delay becomes the destroyer of dreams, and hesitation writes a chapter titled regret. And that moment doesn't arrive with noise. It creeps in quietly, years down the line, when you look back and whisper, I should have started. You see, time, that silent ticking shadow, is not your servant. It doesn't stop to ask if you're ready. It moves with or without your permission. Every second that passes is an opportunity either claimed or wasted. And the truth many refuse to face is this: one day you'll wish you started, none to owe you. You keep telling yourself tomorrow, next week after this storm passes, once I have more time. But that's fear speaking in the language of logic. That's doubt wearing the disguise of wisdom. You're not waiting for the right time. You're hiding from the discomfort of commitment. And while you delay, someone else, with less talent, less money, less support, is moving forward. Every empire, every legend, every success story began with a moment of courage. Not comfort, not clarity, not certainty, but courage. The kind that whispers, just begin. Because the truth is, starting small is greater than dreaming big and doing nothing. The first step, even if it's clumsy and unsteady, is a step the universe respects. When you move, life responds, doors open, ideas arrive, allies appear, energy flows. But none of that happens while you're standing still. And let's be honest, deep down, you already know what you need to do. The idea keeps returning. The vision won't die. That inner voice keeps nudging you, now, now, now. Ignore it long enough, and one day that voice becomes a haunting echo. You'll walk past a mirror and see not the person you are, but the potential you abandoned. Not because you failed, but because you never began. Regret is the heaviest weight a soul can carry. It comes not from falling, but from not jumping at all. Look around. The world is moving. And here you are, still thinking, still doubting, still negotiating with a future that's waiting for you to arrive. The future is built by bold actions taken in the now, not by perfect plans postponed to a later that never comes. So let me ask you this: when will it finally be your time? Not when the money's perfect, not when the schedule is clear, not when the stars align, but when you decide, when you declare, enough waiting. I start now, Bodu, because the clock doesn't care. Life won't pause. And someday, maybe soon, you'll wish with every cell in your body that you had just begun when the spark first hit you. And in that moment, you'll understand this truth: the pain of discipline, of effort, of uncertainty. It's temporary, but the pain of inaction, that pain lasts a lifetime. So take the step, send the email, write the page, start the channel, build the business, go to the gym, speak the dream out loud. Do one thing today, because someday you'll thank yourself, or someday you'll mourn the chance you never took. And the difference between those two futures starts now. Time is the silent currency of your life. It flows whether you spend it wisely or waste it carelessly. Every second that passes is a moment you'll never reclaim. Unlike money, you can't earn more of it. Unlike possessions, you can't trade it. And unlike mistakes, you can't fix what was lost in time. Once it's gone for good. And that reality alone should shake you awake. Think about how many moments you've let slip through your fingers, waiting for motivation, overthinking every detail, doubting your worth, scrolling endlessly, or sitting in rooms that never feed your growth. Time does not wait for you to feel ready. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't care about your excuses, your fears, your laziness, or your intentions. It just ticks steadily, silently, without mercy. One day, you'll look back and realize the version of you that could have built an empire was sitting on a couch waiting for the perfect moment. That you had everything you needed to start, the breath in your lungs, the fire in your mind, but you traded it for distractions. That you chose comfort today and sacrificed power tomorrow. And when you face that reflection, it won't be anger you feel. It'll be heartbreak. You'll wish you had spoken when you were silent, acted when you hesitated, loved when you held back, created when you delayed. Because time didn't stop. It moved, and you didn't move with it. Right now, you still have time. But what you do at this moment defines what your life becomes. Stop pretending you have forever. Start acting like time is precious, because it is. You don't get to rewind. You only get to decide what happens now. Choose wisely. Fear has a clever way of disguising itself, not as panic, not as screaming chaos, but as calm, calculated logic. It shows up dressed in the voice of reason. It whispers things like, "Now's not the right time," or "You should wait until you're more prepared." It tells you to gather more information, to think a little longer, to wait for the stars to align. And because it sounds logical, because it sounds safe, you listen, you sit, you postpone, you hesitate, not realizing that this so-called logic is just fear wearing a mask. You convince yourself you're being smart, being responsible. But deep down, there's another voice, one that doesn't scream but aches. It knows the truth. It knows you're capable. It knows you're ready enough. It knows you're just afraid of what happens if you fail, or worse, what happens if you succeed and the world now expects more of you. That voice, the one calling you forward, is being drowned out by the fake wisdom of fear. And the longer you listen to it, the more you confuse inaction with intelligence. Fear will never come at you in the form of obvious panic. When it wants to sabotage your destiny, it will come softly with a clipboard and a suit, presenting you with a list of perfectly reasonable excuses. It'll remind you of your past failures. It'll highlight everything that could go wrong. It will convince you that you're being cautious. But what you're really being is controlled. Real logic weighs risk and reward. Real courage considers fear and moves anyway. But fear's logic. It only sees risk. It blinds you to what's possible. It convinces you to settle to play small, to wait for a perfect moment that will never arrive. And the worst part, years from now, you'll look back and see how many dreams you buried because they didn't pass fear's so-called logical test. You must become skilled at recognizing the voice of fear when it pretends to be wise. That hesitation, that delay, that overthinking. It's not always strategy. Sometimes it's sabotage. And no amount of fake logic will protect you from the regret of missed opportunities. If there's something calling you, a dream, an idea, a mission, stop running it through fear's filter. Stop asking for permission from a part of yourself that's designed to keep you safe, not successful. Step forward even when you don't have all the answers. The path reveals itself to the one who begins walking, not the one who stands still thinking. Great transformations rarely begin with grand announcements or dramatic action. They often start quietly, in small, almost unnoticeable steps. A few words on a blank page, a single workout after months of neglect, one honest conversation, $1 saved, one video posted. These simple actions, taken consistently, are the seeds that grow into massive, life-changing shifts. But because they look so small, so ordinary, we often dismiss them. We underestimate their power. We tell ourselves, this won't make a difference. And in doing so, we rob ourselves of the compound effect that only action can unlock. What most people don't realize is that momentum is born from motion, not from perfect planning. It's the act of doing that builds energy. When you take even the tiniest step, your mind begins to shift, your confidence grows, your belief strengthens. You begin to see proof that progress is possible, and that evidence fuels the next step, and then the next. Eventually, what once felt impossible begins to feel inevitable, all because you decided to begin. Not big, but now. Too often, we wait for the perfect time, the perfect mood, the perfect plan. But perfection is the enemy of progress. The truth is, you don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. The small start is your declaration that you're done waiting, that you're ready to move, ready to change. Even if the conditions aren't perfect. People admire overnight success stories, but they rarely see the 100 days of quiet effort that led to that moment. They don't see the late nights, the doubts, the discipline, or the small habits that compounded over time. Every extraordinary result was once just a simple choice repeated daily. Every expert was once a beginner. Every movement was once a moment. So don't wait to feel ready. Don't underestimate the power of the small action you can take today. Make the call, write the paragraph, record the video, go for the run, read the page, set the goal. You're not just taking a step, you're shifting your energy, your identity, and your trajectory. A small start may not look like much in the beginning, but in time it becomes the thing that changes everything. Regret doesn't announce itself loudly. It creeps in slowly, quietly, in the still moments of life when you reflect on what could have been. It shows up when you're older, wiser, and finally ready only to realize that the window you once had is no longer open, that the energy you once had is now limited, that the doors you could have walked through have long closed. And in those moments, you don't mourn failure. You mourn inaction. Because the real pain doesn't come from what went wrong, but from never having tried at all. People often fear failure, embarrassment, judgment, but the truth is, none of those things hurt as much as looking back and knowing you had a chance and you didn't take it. You had a voice and stayed silent. You had an idea and kept it locked away. You had a vision, but you never moved on it. That's the sting that lingers. The opportunities you ignored, the risks you avoided, the chances you let slip through your hands in the name of comfort or fear or convenience. Inaction is seductive. It feels safe. It feels peaceful. It gives you the illusion of control. But what it really gives you is a life filled with what ifs. What if you had started that project? What if you had believed in yourself? What if you had been just a little braver? Those questions don't fade, they echo. And the longer you avoid them, the louder they become. Every dream you delay becomes a burden you carry, not because it's impossible, but because a part of you knows it was always possible, and you didn't act. That knowledge weighs on the soul. It steals your joy in the present, because you're haunted by the past you didn't fully live. You watch others' life boldly and wonder why you held back. And no matter how successful you might appear on the outside, regret keeps a quiet seat at your table, reminding you of the life you didn't build. But here's the truth, you don't have to wait for that kind of regret to wake you up. You can choose now. You can move now, you can act now, because every moment you delay is a choice. And every choice not to act is a decision to accept regret as part of your future. There's still time. Not forever, but enough. Enough to begin, enough to change, enough to rewrite the ending. You will never regret trying. You may stumble, you may fail, you may get hurt, but you'll grow, you'll evolve. You'll walk forward without that heavy weight of what could have been. But if you keep choosing silence over courage, comfort over growth, and waiting over doing, then one day you'll look back and realize the real cost wasn't failure. It was never starting. And by then, it'll be too late to change the past. But right now, it's not too late to change your future. Opportunity is not a guest that waits patiently on your doorstep. It knocks, yes, but if you don't answer, it leaves. And often, it doesn't return in the same form. It shows up disguised in uncertainty, wrapped in discomfort, sometimes even masked as failure. But it's there, waiting for those bold enough to seize it, to recognize it before it's obvious. Most people don't miss opportunity because they weren't smart enough or talented enough. They miss it because they were too slow to act. They hesitated. They overthought. They waited for the stars to align. And in doing so, they let it pass. Life does not stop moving, neither does opportunity. While you're stuck thinking about it, someone else is already doing it. While you're waiting to feel ready, someone less qualified is taking the leap and learning as they go. Success doesn't belong to those who wait for the perfect moment. It belongs to those who decide the moment they have is enough. Opportunity does not apologize for being inconvenient. It rarely comes wrapped in certainty or comfort. It often asks you to stretch, to risk, to believe without evidence. And if you refuse, it simply moves on. Think about the moments in your life when you had a chance to speak, to create, to act, and didn't. That job you could have applied for. That idea you never launched. That person you never reached out to. Those weren't just missed actions. They were missed gateways. You didn't just say no to a moment. You said no to everything that could have followed. Because opportunity isn't a single event. It's a chain reaction. One bold move can lead to countless doors opening. But it begins with a decision, a yes, a step. Right now. We often fool ourselves into thinking life will give us another chance, that we can wait a few months, a few years, and everything will still be in place when we're finally ready. But the truth is, some doors close for good. Some moments are only meant to be lived once. And while you can create new opportunities, you can't recreate the same ones. Timing matters. Action matters. And the cost of delay is higher than we ever realize in the moment. No one ever knows how long an opportunity will last. It could be gone tomorrow, or even today. The idea you keep pushing aside could be the one that changes everything. But it can't help you if it stays in your mind. It needs life. It needs action. And that means showing up before you feel 100% ready. That means answering the knock when it comes. Even if you're scared, even if you're unsure, even if it doesn't look perfect. One thing is certain: opportunity rewards the brave, not the perfect. The committed, not the cautious. If you're waiting for the right moment, understand this. This is it. The opportunity to begin, to build, to break through is here. But it will not wait forever. Eventually, it moves on to someone who is willing to say yes. Every decision you make today is shaping the person you are becoming, the future you dream of, the life you imagine, the success you crave. It isn't waiting for you somewhere far ahead. It's being built right now, brick by brick, through your daily actions, habits, and choices. It doesn't arrive all at once with a lightning bolt of luck or a dramatic breakthrough. It shows up gradually, through discipline, consistency, and conscious decisions made in the present moment. We often fantasize about who we want to be: successful, confident, fulfilled. But forget that becoming that version of ourselves requires alignment with our actions today. You cannot hope to live like the future version of yourself while acting like the present version you refuse to change. The future doesn't reward dreams. It rewards commitment. And every moment you delay action, every time you choose comfort over courage, you're not standing still. You're actually drifting further from the life you claim to want. The life you admire in others was crafted through thousands of small, intentional choices. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's self-mastery. It's showing up on the days you don't feel like it. It's saying no to distractions. It's staying true to your values when no one is watching. It's choosing growth over ease, progress over perfection, and long-term gain over short-term pleasure. That's how the future is built. Not with dreams alone, but with deliberate effort and focused action. You are always making a trade. Every hour spent procrastinating is an hour you could have used to get closer to your vision. Every excuse accepted is a brick removed from the foundation of your potential. Every decision matters. What you eat, what you consume mentally, who you surround yourself with, how you speak to yourself, how you use your time. These aren't just daily routines. They are construction tools for your future self. The danger lies in thinking your future is some distant destination you'll magically arrive at. It's not. It's a direct reflection of your present. If you want to know where you're heading, look at your habits. Look at how you spend your mornings. Look at what you tolerate in your environment. Look at what you tell yourself when things get hard. That's your future in motion. So if you're serious about becoming the version of you that achieves the dream, lives with purpose, and walks in power, then act like it now. Think like it now. Show up like it now. Because the gap between who you are and who you want to be is not time, it's choice. And the most powerful choice you can make is to stop waiting for change and start becoming it. Today, let this be your wake-up call, not from the world, but from within. You've heard the truth. Time won't wait. Fear lies to you. Small steps matter more than you know. And regret is the shadow left by chances not taken. Opportunity is knocking, and your future is watching every move you make today. The life you want, the person you dream of becoming, the impact you're meant to have. It all starts with a single, powerful choice to begin now. No more waiting for the perfect moment. No more bargaining with your potential. No more letting fear speak louder than your purpose. The clock is ticking, not as a threat, but as a reminder. This is your moment, right here, right now. Your destiny isn't a mystery waiting to be discovered. It's a reality waiting to be built, one step, one choice, one bold action at a time. So rise, decide, commit, because one day you'll look back and you'll either be grateful you started now or you'll wish with all your heart that you had. The future is yours to shape. Start now.